Hey guys, this is Coach Lowe and this is geometry and this is 8-6 part 2. And so we're going to be talking about law of cosines. Talked about law of sines in the last video, now law of cosines in this one. So remember, law of sines, we have two angles and a side, or we have two sides and an angle, but the angle is not between the two. Now we're law of cosines, non-right triangles. Non-right triangles, and we'll use law of cosines when we're given two sides and the included angle, the angle between them, or when we are given three sides. We'll use law of cosines. All right, so here's a non-right triangle, and I'll go ahead and label this ABC, and then I'm going to go ahead and label the sides opposite with their lowercase letter. And let's say that I'm given side C, side B, and then the included angle or the angle between them. So this is side angle side, side angle side. And so law of cosine says I'm going to take the side that's not been given to me, a squared, and it's equal to each of the sides that are given squared and added together. So the sum of those two sides minus 2 times the product, or multiplying those two sides together, and then multiplying that by the cosine of the angle that's given. So a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. Now we can switch this around. Let's say we're given angle B, side C, and side A. So now I'm not given angle or side B. So b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine b. All right, and then of course we can do the last side, not a problem. Let's say we're given angle C and side A and side B, not side C. So side C, c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of C. All right, so let's grab a couple of practice problems off of this and figure out missing side lengths. All right, so let's go ahead and draw a triangle here. And we'll make this 45 degrees. This is not a 45-45 right triangle. We do not have a right angle, so those fun things are out of the picture. All right, so I don't have side X, and I have side Y, and I have side Z, and I have angle X. So this is law of cosines because I have an angle and then two sides around it, or I have two sides in the included angle. So law of cosines. So the side that I'm missing, which is x, it's x squared equals, and then the two sides that I'm given squared and added together, so 11 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 11 times 25 multiplied by the cosine of 45. All right, so we can put all of this in our calculator and then take the square root. So x is going to be equal to the square root of all of that stuff up there. 11 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 11 times 25 times cosine 45. Now, we talked a little bit in class about how we could put this in our calculator, that we can actually put this in and then push the square root key and then second and the little subtract or the little negative sign at the bottom, because above it says answer. Your calculator may be a little bit different, but you can always tell it to use your last answer and put it underneath that square root, or you could do it this way. All right, so either way, side X should be 18.9. So 18.9 for this side. All right, then from here, if they ask us to find the other missing angles, we can use law of sines. So we can say sine of 45 over 18.9 is equal to sine of z over 25. And we can also say sine of 45 over 18.9 is equal to sine of y over 11. And we will tackle that more when I see you again. But this is finding a side length when you're given two sides and the angle between. All right, now let's move on and say that they gave us three sides. All right, so given three sides, so this is side, 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 still law of cosines. So no right triangle still. All right, so triangle ABC again, little a, little b, little c. All right, so we had a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A. All right, and then we need to solve for this because they've given us, we can fill in, if it's side, 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 we can fill in all the lowercase letters. So let's solve for cosine A. So I need to get rid of this junk first. So I'm going to subtract b squared and c squared from both sides. So a little algebra move there. I said minus b squared minus b squared. Can't put those together. Minus c squared minus c squared. Can't put those together, so I just tacked them on the end of a squared. All right, then this is all multiplied together because it's scrunchy. So I'm going to divide by a negative 2bc. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. B divided by b, 1. C divided by c, 1. So all we're left with over here is cosine A. Have to do the same thing to the other side. All right, so a squared minus b squared minus c squared over negative 2bc. Now, if we want to make this a little bit nicer for our calculator so we don't have to type in that negative, we can actually move the negative to the top, and we'll have to distribute it through. So that would make the b squared positive, the c squared positive, and the a squared negative once I push that guy through there. So now it looks like b squared plus c squared minus a squared, I just moved the negative to the back so it's a little bit easier to type in on my calculator, equals cosine A. All right, so b squared plus c squared minus a squared divided by 2bc cosine A. When I find A, I'm just going to take cosine inverse of both sides, right? So cosine inverse of both sides, calculator trick here, make sure that you use parentheses for the numerator and for the denominator when you type it in. So I will have cosine inverse parenthesis. It'll throw a parenthesis for you. You're going to have to put another one in there when you plug all these numbers in. So 2 sets of parentheses when you plug those in, and that will give you the measure of angle A. Once we find the measure of angle A, again, we'll be able to use law of cosines to find the rest. All right, let's do one problem, and then we'll tackle some more when I see you again. All right, so let's draw this triangle. So P, Q, R, and this is 7, 8, and 9. All right. So I'm going to choose this angle to find first. I'm going to find angle P. If it says solve the triangle, I have to find all of them, but I'm just going to find angle P for now. So angle P is an angle that I'm trying to find. So when I put this in the formula, I'm going to have cosine P, which means P squared is going to go on this side. So I have P squared equals, so this is little r, this is little q, this is p. All right, so p squared equals r squared plus q squared minus 2 times r times q times the cosine of p. All right, so let's plug stuff in. And remember, I can solve for this guy. So now it looks like this. R squared plus q squared minus p squared over 2rq equals cosine of p. So moving these two over, so it looks like p squared minus r squared minus q squared over negative 2rq equals cosine of p, moving the negative to the top just like we did before. So look back at your notes, just like we did before, and now we're going to plug stuff in. All right, so r is 9, q is 7, p is 8. Let's plug those in. So 9 squared plus 7 squared minus 8 squared divided by 2 times 9 times 7, and we want cosine inverse of that, and that will give us angle P. So put this in your calculator, hit second cosine for cosine inverse. It'll throw a parenthesis, throw another parenthesis, 9 squared plus 7 squared minus 8 squared, close that parenthesis, hit the divided by key for this, divided by, open another parenthesis, 2, and you can just use the multiplication sign or multiplication button here, 2 times 9 times 7, close it, close this one, hit enter. All right, you should get the measure of angle P is 58 degrees. All right, hopefully that worked out for you. If not, put a star by it and let's talk about it when I see you again. All right, this is Coach Lowe, guys, and I'm out.